All right. I am turning on a second recording, so bear with me for a moment. Excellent. Okay. Welcome, everyone. There it goes. I'm going to put us in the spotlight because why not? Pin spotlight for everyone. There we go.
Mhm.
Welcome everyone to our, oh my goodness, second call of July. So happy to see all of your faces and hear all your voices. Happy to be here on this beautiful summer evening here in Oakland, California. And there's Diana McDowell. Yay, we've got our two Dianas in the house.
Nice.
Nice. Let's do our metaphor check-in. And the fun question on top of your metaphor check-in or beside it is because today we're going to talk about currency. If you can describe in an adjective or two how money feels in your hand, the texture of money. Could
Hmm.
be anything from something that you've held recently or in the past, doesn't matter. But the texture, we're going to focus just on texture for the fun little add-on. But don't worry, we're going to do lots of fun things today with text with currency. All right, Ez, you want to go first with your metaphor check-in and oh,
Sure. Um, I'm trying to think of descriptions for money, and I mean, I can only think like stiff paper, cold coins,
okay.
um,
Yeah, that's fine. That gets
and
us started.
um, all right, and then
Your
the
metaphor
metaphor,
check-in.
um, it's kind of like I was in a taxi, and the taxi was driving me around. And I paused somewhere and I said, keep the meter running. I'll be right back. And I left. And then after couple of days, I look out the window and I see the taxi there. And I said, oh yeah, I was supposed to go somewhere. And um, because I kind of did a pause on my marketing. And today I realized, oh, yeah, I was in the middle of creating blog posts for the future. But I stopped
Mhm.
that. So
You start
after,
working on another book.
yeah,
So
yeah.
you know.
So things and stuff, yeah.
Yeah, good. Thank you. All right. Next, who would like to go next for the metaphor check-in? Anybody want to go next? Should I call on someone? I don't mind. All right, Diana McDowell, I'll put you in the spotlight.
Okay. Since it's been a while, why not? I feel like a bee that is trying to pollinate. And so there's this flower, that flower, this flower, that flower. And oh, yeah, I need to go back to that flower. Oh, what about that one? Oh, I didn't finish this. Oh, I bet, so I feel like that. That's my metaphor.
Great, that's great. Do you happen to have two monitors? Because it looks like you're looking at one monitor, but not at us.
No, I have one monitor, but I think it's where my camera is and to where my
Hmm.
screen is. I have a big screen, and so maybe I'm looking.
Yeah, it looks like you're looking over there.
So, because I'm looking at the screen that's off to the side. So, how's this? Is this better?
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
Have fun. And what about texture of money? An adjective or two?
I would say it feels, it's more emotional. It feels precious
Hmm.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm. Lovely.
and, like smooth and comforting and precious.
Hmm. Great. And you had that physical adjective of smooth,
Yeah.
which is a great was texture as well.
Yeah. Nice.
Fabulous. Great. Thank you. Thanks for that.
Sure.
The fun thing about currency. Fab, Ulyss. Who would like to go next? Metaphor check-in.
I'd
Uh,
be, oh,
shall we toss it?
Uh,
Hugh, do you want to go next?
No, Diana can go next. Go ahead.
All right. Diana, you can go next. Or-
cool.
oh,
Well, my metaphor check-in is the physics. metaphor because when I when I was studying physics, I learned the difference between static friction and kinetic friction.
Uh-huh.
And static is actually a little bit harder. It's why a lot of times you try to push at something and it doesn't move. And then eventually it gives and it's suddenly easier.
I love demonstrating that to my kids.
Well, and that's where I actually feel like I'm at in my writing. I got really stuck over the past few months because life happened. Surprise. And I feel like I'm finally getting it moving. Beth knows because you've gotten to see I'm doing a little bit more. And I'm not quite up to full speed yet, but it feels easier than ever. So that's great.
That's great. Oh, wonderful. And I owe you some pages. Sorry, I too have been a little bit discombobulated. Um, and do you have any adjectives for the texture of money?
Mine is based off of like in the past few years I've gotten exposure to a very unusual currency here in America. There are $1 coins. We don't normally see them.
Hmm.
But for a while, I was handling a lot of them, and it always impressed me how cold and heavy they are. Like just putting a couple in my bag would get so heavy.
Hmm.
And so that was sort of the first thing that I thought of was like really big, cold, heavy metal.
Hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Are those the Sacagawea coins?
Mm.
There's actually a huge variety. It was very surprising to me, like you could find all sorts of different things. So for
Oh,
a while, I was trying to hand them off to my sister. She collects different varieties of coins. But even she got overwhelmed. See, my husband and I were running a vending machine business for a while, and you handle a lot of coins
Yeah.
when you do that. It's too
Yeah.
much.
Oh, oh, that's so interesting. Awesome. Really interesting. Thanks. Uh, Hugh, you're on line one.
I
Hi.
so I'm gonna think about paper money and how handling new bills. It's the texture is rough. There's definitely a roughness to it because of the heavy fibers. I mean, American currency is built to go through multiple rounds through the laundry and remain unchanged. So it's rough. It's thick. There's a strength to the paper
Hmm.
uh-huh.
that's built in to make sure that the currency, it's not easily um, eroded or it doesn't fall apart easily.
Yeah.
And so it feels like there's a strength to it, and the way it's constructed, it feels um, like there's a power.
Mm.
Like when you see when you see a strong building,
Mm.
or when you're leaning against a well-built fence, you feel like there's power to it.
Hmm. Hmm. Oh, I like those associations. Very
Yeah.
great. That's really
Yeah.
nice. Fabulous. And how about your metaphor check-in?
Yeah, I did my fun question first. I'm such a rebel. Uh,
Yeah.
I've turned everything upside down. I'm sorry. So,
Nice.
so my metaphor check-in, I've changed it 3 times since I got on the call. Um,
You rebel, you.
I know, right? Gosh. And I just changed it again. Um, so, um, so I've been working on the beginning of my book a lot. I'm trying really hard to get, because in group coaching and in some of our one-on-one coaching, I've been doing a lot of free writing and doing some writing some stuff that I feel really proud of.
Mm.
And I'm trying to get it into the book. And I feel like part of what I'm feeling is that there's the flow is missing, and I feel like part of that is I don't like the beginning. I've rewritten the beginning must be 10 times already,
Yeah.
and I feel like now with my beginning, I feel like it's uh like there's some gas in the tank. Staying in a car metaphor, I feel like it's been sort of stop start, and I've been hitting potholes, and the engine keeps stalling, and I feel like maybe I've refilled the tank, and I've hit a smoother bit of highway right now,
Hmm.
and
Oh,
that's a good feeling. It's still a bit of a struggle. The steering wheel is a little tight, and the windows are a little foggy, but I'm moving.
mhm. That's great. Love it. That's so vivid. Thank
Yeah,
you.
that went on too long. Sorry.
That
Nope,
was awesome.
nope, we have room for everyone. Thank you. Nicole, I'm going to call on you and then Story and then me. So what's your metaphor check-in, Nicole? And also what the texture of money, one or two adjectives.
So I guess my metaphor check-in is creative creative wine.
Creative what? Wine?
Yep.
Creative wine.
Fun.
Like the wine you drink?
Yep.
Nice.
Okay. All right. Love it. And what's your texture? What's a few adjectives for the texture of money?
So with me being blind, I don't know how sighted people, how they view money as far as texture, but
Well, texture is touch. So that's why I picked it. I wanted to be sure to include you. So
okay.
just like when you hold money in your hand, a coin or a paper bill.
Okay, so
Yeah.
yeah, the coins have more texture than the paper does. So like I can pick up a quarter and tell it's a quarter because of the rigid and how large it feels.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The same thing with a dime, but of course a dime is smaller than a quarter.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so even though it has ridges, but it's a smaller denomination.
Yeah.
But as far as paper money, I can't tell the difference between a 5, a 20, and a 10.
Right.
So okay, so like when well, I don't know if you all know, but I had to pay my parents rent every month. So when I go to the bank with usually my dad, I get out, the amount, and then I get out however much money I need left over for like my barber or the nails, because they had to take me to the nails or my barber because they're out of the boundary lines for the paratransit, so I can't go on my own.
I
So what I do with the 20s is I have a I don't know if it would be called a change purse because it's made of plastic, but it's a small plastic thing that has a zip.
Mhm.
So I put my 20s in that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. And then my 10s, if I get any 10s, I put them in the zip part in my regular purse.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. You have to keep them separate.
Right.
Yeah.
In my regular wallet. So I don't have a texture of money as far as whatever a sighted person would how they view money.
Yeah. It's
So
very different. Thank you for sharing that. That's really interesting. Yeah.
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 Awesome. Thank you so much. And for your check-in. Let's see. Story, are you there? Did you check in? I see yep, there you are. Come to the
Yay.
camera. Hey,
Good afternoon,
good afternoon.
everybody.
Good night. Happy to see you and would love to hear your
Yes.
metaphor check-in and your texture of money adjectives.
Yes. My metaphor is I think it would be a piece of nice green grass that rose from the ground, probably 2, 3, 4 inches, growing, life is good. And I turn around to look at the sun, and all I can see is a deer's mouth that chomps down on the grass and has me for lunch.
That's really fun. Awesome. Thank you. Very fun.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. So that I would say from that, everything is grand.
okay.
Um, my adjectives for money, I would say hard, smooth, plastic.
Yeah, right. So credit cards.
Oh, I
So
see.
I threw a noun in there as well. So,
That's great. I love it. Very,
but yeah, we're in an age now that most of the time I don't have any real currency in my pocket. So
yeah.
it's all through tapping or swiping or Venmo.
I know. Right, right. Yeah. Thank you. I'm glad you brought that up. Cool. Thank you for
Yeah.
just real quick. Where
And by the way, just a little hint, if there's anybody on here that likes beer but doesn't want to drink alcohol, you can't see it. I've got it blurred, but it's called Hop Clark. Is sparkling water, and it's
okay.
just water with a little bit of hoppies in it. So it's really, really good. It's zero everything, but just a little advertisement for Hoplark. It's called Hoplark.
Yeah, it's a no beer beer. I really
Mhm.
know wine, but I haven't tried that. Awesome. And real quick, where are you? Because I know you're traveling around and
Yes, yes. Been traveling for a couple of months. I am in Missoula, Montana right now on my way to Washington to marry my son.
Wow.
congratulations and
Yeah.
fun is that? Awesome. Thank you. All right. I guess it's my turn. And let me just go put speaker and or speaker. There we go. All right. Metaphor check-in and don't know texture money. Okay. I feel like I'm in a big not merry-go-round. What is that? Ferris wheel. And I'm going up in the Ferris wheel, kind of anticipating that wonderful moment where you're at the very top of the Ferris wheel and you get to see the whole town. But right now I'm in that kind of wobbly, like, kind of queasy. Can we get to the top, please? So a little bit of just discomfort. I don't know, all the edits, getting feedback from everyone, all the edits, and feeling like a little bit unsteady. So there we go. But anticipating soon, I will have a clear vista and I will get to take a breath. That's my cuckoo.
I love that.
Metaphor check-in. One I've never had before. That's bizarre. All right, and my metaphor, I meant my, let's see,
Adjective.
adjectives for money that I'm gonna say, um, I'm picking up my phone because I mostly use the tap to pay these days. So they're sort of like a um, heaviness, heavy, but also what's that? Glisse. What's in English? Glisse.
Uh, Glossy?
Glide. Like I have to use my finger to, do the code and everything. There's this gliding, this heaviness, and yeah, those are two textures. I was going to go into sound. There's a sound component to it as well. Because I use my phone, I use the Apple Wallet mostly. So there you go. I kind of miss whole currency. I just don't even carry it anymore. A lot of places in Europe were like no currency. Did you see that in the cafes and stuff and restaurants
Yeah.
we went to? They're like no currency, please. They just wanted plastic credit cards and tap. Everyone was tapping to pay, with their phones. All right, that's that. Great. Ready, everyone, to do some free writing? I have a little prompt for you. You can follow it or not. So, thinking of your POV character, um, I want you to either to describe um, from your POV character, actually not from your POV character, describe texture, And choose whatever sensory you want to use: texture, smell, sound, sounds of money, or actually just say currency, whatever the currency is in your story, if you have it, currency changing hands. So like a marketplace scene or something like that. So you can, edit, autocorrect it to eat, not eat, edit, uh, edit something or create something. Um, and yeah, so get into your POV, your point of view character's perspective, describe using sensory details, texture or smell or sounds. And of course, you can throw in thoughts and feelings and dialogue, whatever you want, but we're going to kind of key into the sensory details if you can. And let's do a free write on that. And I will call up our timer here. Let's do 5 minutes. Does that sound good? 5 minutes for everyone? Any objections? No objections? Okay, open up my Scrivener. All right, I'll see y'all in 5 minutes. All right. That was 5+ minutes. So wrap it up. Post your thing in the chat if you want. Um, oh. Fun. Thanks, Diana. I posted mine.
Whoops.
I'm getting there. I gotta split it.
Yeah. Mine is getting long too.
Yeah.
Fabulous. I'm surprised mine wasn't longer. Really fun. I created something new. Great. We have stories. All righty. Let's see. We got some more.
Okay.
Husband, Dory. Oh, yeah. McDowell, Ezra. Thank you. Hughes in part 2. And while we wait for Diana McDowell's, Nicole, did you work on a little bit on the currency in your story?
Yeah, I did, but I wasn't sure how to really incorporate everything because my characters are not like with the meal traders. Um they're in the gathering, but they're not part of the meal traders. So I'm not really sure how to include the currency really.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's maybe you'll get some ideas as we go through everyone's examples, and then we have another 2-part writing exercise in the next
Oh,
section. So
okay.
yeah, maybe think about, yeah, you'll get some prompts and maybe this will get your ideas. Ezra, can you start with our stuff?
Great.
Be our reader. However, order.
Yours. Yeah.
Sure.
There's no money in Lemuria, at least as far as Janie could tell. No one had asked for her for money. She didn't even broach the subject of
Hadn't.
getting paid.
Yeah, that's fine.
Why would she? This was a personal mission to help her grandmother's crew if she could find them. But here she was investigating Sally's murder and Dane Goldie's attack. And that she usually did for hire. Jenny turned to Amari. How do I get paid for this investigation? What do you mean? Amari gave her a quizzical look and then turned back to arranging case notes on the old cork board. Remunerated. Offered something in exchange for something. You know, commerce. We don't use dollars here, Amari said without turning around. It doesn't have to be dollars. It could be euros, pesos, dinars. No. What do you use? A thank you.
There's no currency in
I love it.
my story,
That's
at
funny.
least in that part. Okay, thanks.
Here's Diana's Husband. A large brown creature was curled up inside the crate. She had a glimpse of long arms covered with shaggy fur ending in wide paws with blunt claws. Do you have any money? Do you have my money? Asked the shopkeeper, his eyes shifting fervently from Janina to Clara and back again. Janina held up a clinking pouch, but she didn't hand it to him. Ewald, I can't take it like that. Do you have a leash or something? Ewald grabbed a robe lying next to the crate and shoved it at Janina. He swiped at her pouch. causing several coins to fall out. Ewald crouched down, snatching at the clattering coins, but one rolled between Clara's feet. She turned around and picked up the coin as it started to wobble on its side. Curiously, she hefted the cool metal in her palm. The coin was silver, like the Wehrenstaller coins her papa used to count in careful piles, but it featured a lady with wings.
Ooh, really fun. This is new. Yeah, new stuff, Diana. Really fun. I love it. A great hint, very evocative. And I loved the sensory details that you added.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sound and yes. All right, stories.
Sarah handed over the folded strip of currency, her gloved fingertips brushing against Mrs. as he reached to take it. The Zephyrian paper felt nothing like earth money, not soft and fibrous, but slick, like cured bark wrapped in a layer of wax. It made a faint crinkling snap like coiled tension. Her thumb caught on one of the ridges etched into the surface, a raised filament that vibrated faintly against her skin, almost like a heartbeat. It didn't smell like paper or plastic. It smelled faintly metallic with a hint of ozone and graphusic, the euphoria drug popular in the New Age club they just left. Buse took the note and held it up toward the sun-filtered glow of Zephyrian sky. The strip shimmered iridescent, cycling faint hues of green and blue like oil on water. This one's fresh, he said, eyes squinting against the flicker. Fresh enough to bite back. He grinned and folded it twice, tucking it into a slot on his belt.
Really fun. So many interesting new experiences and world building there. Story. I felt like I was definitely in a new world with whole new ideas of what money is and does. That's so fun.
Yay.
Very much. Oh,
Yeah, it's cool. All right.
Ezra's.
Callisto approached the small holistic bookstore, the door ringing a tinny bell as he opened the door. Would this place have what he needed? He stepped to the psi section. Telekinesis, telepathy. Ah, there it was. Transmogrification. He tugged the only book on the topic from the shelf, flipped through the pages ritualistically. It didn't matter. The only book, he had to settle for it. He strode to the cashier. Find everything you need? He plopped the book on the counter. Yeah. He waited for the machine to request his card before he tapped the ragged piece of plastic to pay. Payment accepted, the display read. He grabbed the book before the cashier could offer him the receipt. Would this book have an explanation for why everything he touched transformed into different substances?
Fabulous. I love how you wove the payment process into the whole scene. So we're just in the moment. There's a transaction. It's a little different than what we know. Yeah.
Plot hole. Why didn't the card turn into something else?
There you go.
So
There you go.
I have to think about this.
Maybe the card has been
Maybe
protected.
he's wearing gloves or something.
Right. Yeah, there you go. All right, Hughes.
Tobias strolled through the busy market in the town square. People flitting about, buying things, selling things, haggling and complaining. Most mages never had to handle money, certainly not at the Academy Island. Those who did field work sometimes needed coins to stay fed or housed, though usually that was taken care of by the ones paying for the expensive magic services. The merchant who had offered him free vegetables earlier that morning was selling her last bit of fruit. He couldn't make out what she was saying to the old man as he shakily put a small silver coin in her hand and lifted the bag, holding the apples, and shuffled away. The merchant smiled as he made his way into a bustling crowd like a ship on stormy seas. To buy new, the man paid less than the fruit cost. So went up to the woman and asked why she did that. Catch, she said, and tossed the coin at Tobias. He caught it and held the heavy metal in his palm. It had etchings of the king's insignia on it, and it was scratched and dirty. Nice.
Yeah, keep going. Really fun. I'm learning so much about his experience and world and his newness to money. That's really fun. Super, super. All right, Diana McDowell.
She opened the small tin with careful fingers, the kind her father once said were made for treasure. The scent rose up, earthy and faintly metallic, like rain hitting old stone. This wasn't polished or perfect gold. It was raw, pulled from the creek behind the castle, gathered in a tin they used to keep in the pantry behind the flour. She tipped a few nuggets into her palm. They felt heavier than they looked. Their edges were jagged in places, soft in others, like they couldn't decide if they were wild or tamed. When they shifted against each other, they made a sound she could still hear in her dreams. Not clinking like coins, but a softer tap, a private sound, the sound of secrets kept in riverbeds. Her thumb brushed over a piece the size of a bean. It was warm, though the tin had been closed tight. Or maybe the warmth came from her. This wasn't about money. It never had been. It was memory. It was the day her father winked at her and said, "Gold doesn't shine until someone believes it's there."
Ooh, so evocative.
Nice.
Really want to know more.
Yeah.
Are those stones money or gold? Yeah. Oh, you said it wasn't polished perfect. Really fun. You really got us in there. There's so much about family and there's so many sensory details. You're very evocative, Diana.
Really fantastic.
Yeah. Did we get everyone? We got a check-in from you, Nicole. Got everybody who's here. Yes. Okay. Excellent. Great job, everyone. Really fun. So let's dive into the lesson I have prepared. And hopefully we can get to you. And then we have your piece to go over. Not get over, go over.
Once we go over it, we'll get over it.
We'll get over it. Oh, I thought everything was queued up. Okay, where is it? Oh, this is yours. We don't need that just yet. Okay. Ah, that's weird. It didn't show when I hit share screen. Okay, 1 second, everyone. There we go.
Okay.
Aha. All right. Can everyone see that? Let's see. I'm going to hide the video panel. All right. So today we're going to talk about currency, examples in science fiction and fantasy, why include currency, how to include currency. We'll do some brainstorming, hopefully, and then we'll summarize. And there's a bunch of resources at the end that I won't go over. All righty. Your story's currency. So what is currency? I made a long list and I thought I would go over it. And then if there's anything I left out, we can add. And then we'll go over some examples, super fun. So currency, a system of money, a medium of exchange within an economy or group, an invention, right? It's completely invented by humans. It reflects the power, values, the environment, choices by people, also like ease of use. That's what I meant to say, ease of use. I highlighted this in yellow because I think this is going to cue into our exercise soon. It's in the form of coins, banknotes, electronic units. Oh, I didn't add in here, plastic. It's obviously different at different times and places. It acts as a standard unit for trading goods and services. It can function both as a store of value and as a measure of economic activity. Generally issued by a government or governing authority, generally. It's widely accepted as payment within a domain, an intended domain. And yeah, any other definitions or ways of thinking about currency that I didn't include here? Did I include kind of everything?
Gold.
Oh,
Yeah, gold, absolutely. Yeah, that's an example. We can talk about like real world examples. Gold, it used to be cowrie shells used to be from a currency. Yeah, go ahead, Nicole.
I was going to say, so like the world that I have created, they do trading as a form of currency. So
Okay.
Like if you were to walk up to them and say, "Hey, let's go to a restaurant," they would have no idea what you were talking about because
Right.
they don't have restaurants. But if you were to say, "Let's go eat somewhere," they might say, "Let's go trade for a meal," but then we would have no idea what they were talking about.
Right. So, yeah, your job as the writer is to explain it in a way that we can all understand.
Right.
So we're going to get to some exercises for you to let's dive into some fantasy exercises, fantasy examples. But before I do, anybody have any further definitions or like how to explain what is currency?
Maybe I'm stretching a little bit, but I'm thinking of uh currency sort of more abstractly, like people like influence or politics or
Mm.
something like that being currency.
Right.
So like social currency or something, or
Mhm.
like
Social currency. Yeah, I like that, the way you phrase that.
Well, yeah, social
Leverage.
currency, leverage.
yeah,
Um,
because I know that Dr. Phil talked about social currency at some point. I know he did an episode about like
what,
I
what,
think I think he was talking about social currency like
that's really interesting.
influencers and stuff like that.
Influence, leverage, using one's reputation. Um, yeah. And so this isn't like the physicality. This is more like, that's really great. So social currency, I'll do, favors, right? Exchanging favors.
So
Um,
I'm not sure if that would fit into my trader currency because I know that trading was a currency at one time.
yep. Well,
But
yeah, exchanging goods and
yeah,
for services and services for goods. Yeah,
right. I
Yeah.
don't know if they do that with meals though. I
sure.
guess
I'll cook you a meal, you cook me a meal. Yeah, for sure. Anything could be exchanged as long as everyone agrees to it.
Yeah, I'll cook
okay.
you a meal and you build me a house, whatever.
Build me a house and I'll give you the food from my orchard. Yeah,
Right.
that's
Now, I'm just thinking like it could be what we're defining as forms of payment as opposed to
yeah.
the definition of currency. Like currency is one form of payment. Trade might be a different form of payment.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I mean, and
Mm.
yeah, but I think we can all define it in different ways and they're all legitimate.
Yeah, well, from a story perspective, maybe in your story, Nicole, there's one thing is traded for another thing. That's barter. That's trade. That's I'll do this for me if you do that for me. Um,
Okay.
and so it doesn't have
Yeah.
to be a physical object like a coin that is used to exchange for a good or a service.
Right. And what I find really strange, I mean, not strange, but what I find really common in a lot of fantasies that I read is they all use some form of coinage.
Yeah. Yeah, well,
But
I mean, if you do research in the history, I've heard in the book Build Better Worlds, which we'll grab once rockets off our lap, and I reference it in the resources, and I talked to the author. He talks about how the idea of true barter actually never existed. People always had some form of, whether it was shells or something else that was small and portable. So that's actually very common throughout history, is that people small portable objects that had value and that you could pass along through a greater group. I mean, some groups probably were completely communal and maybe didn't have any kind of coinage. But
right.
um, so let's go into some examples, which was
Okay.
fun to find when I did some research to put all this together and see, so for example, here's some examples in science fiction. Star Wars has galactic credits, which is used throughout the galaxy as standard money. Star Trek had Federation credit, but also gold press latinum, which was valuable because it couldn't be replicated in the replication machines. And then credits being used by the Federation, Latinum being used by the Ferengi. In Dune, you have Solari and Spice. Spice, also called Mélange. Solari is the official currency, but then Spice was the real standard of wealth. And it's what, if you had Spice, you were wealthy. And then probably they turned that into Solari, into a currency. In The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, I did not remember this. Altarian dollar, humorous currency for interstellar transactions. In the Foundation series, it's called a credit. Lots of sci-fi uses the word credit, which was the standard unit of money in the Galactic Empire. In Battlestar Galactica, I didn't remember this either, dollar pound, which was a combination symbol used in the 12 colonies. Metro 2033 has, I don't even know what that is. Cartridges, ammunition is used as a currency after, I guess, probably post-apocalyptic. In Fallout, which is a fabulous TV series, bottle caps were used. Maybe they were NCR dollar. Maybe each cap was $1. I guess I forgot that. But I remembered bottle caps. That was the main currency in this post-apocalyptic story. That was fun. And then here's some examples from fantasy. In Harry Potter, we've got galleons, sickles, and newts, which are gold, silver, and bronze coins of the wizarding world. In Game of Thrones, which I didn't watch or read, gold dragons, silver stags, copper pennies. So those were coins, and that's fun. In Discworld, anyone read Discworld? Ankh Morpark dollar, Lancre shilling. So different regional currencies in this Terry Pratchett world. Dungeons and Dragons, a lot of people who play that, D&D, platinum, gold, silver, copper, often used a lot in fantasy and role-playing games. Stormlight Archive, another book I haven't read. Anyone read Stormlight Archive? We got spheres, bromes, marks, and chips, which are gem-infused spheres of varying size and value. So, as you can see from all these examples, some of our very inventive, often metallic coins, digital credits, ammunition, magical objects, and they all reflect the world that they're a part of and also the social values. And then we have a fun example from Liz Adams, the Cinderella story, 10 croupers and a cool, 10 cools and a nug, 50 nugs and a poker. So completely invented, really fun
Yeah.
as they're made. And here, do you want to read this little segment?
Yeah. What if I give you money to take me to shore? Cindy said. He scratched his chin. But we're not talking a couple of cruppers here. We're talking about 500 nugs, at least. Nugs? Yeah, 10 cruppers in a cull, 10 culls in a nug. Ah, so 500 nugs? She said. That'll be a lot of cruppers. I see, she nodded. But you'd take me away from here if I gave you 500 nugs? Sure, Cindy. If I had 500 nugs, I'd bring you to the mainland and give you my boat. Okay, she said. I'll start saving up.
Very fun. And here's one from The Princess and the Pea story.
Yeah, and so she's reading a list of rules in the realm, and rule number 5 says the currency of this realm is strawberries. Their value depends on their size, and they stay fresh with berry spray, a non-toxic sealant.
Great. So you could be as inventive as you want. And if you're not using a currency, then I guess you're going to use trade and you get to decide how people figure that out. So I asked the question, why include currency in your stories? And for me, it's because of verisimilitude, right? It replicates verisimilitude is like it seems real. So using currency and of some kind or exchange, value exchange, whether that's social currency, real currency, barter, makes the world feel real. So that's my reason. Anybody else have a reason why to include coin? It could be part of your, ooh, I know. Could be part of the story, could be part of the plot, this Holt plot. Any other reasons why we might want to include currency?
I think any story that involves what's it called? where you fake money, you make money. You
You mean counterfeit?
yeah. Any story that involves counterfeiting money. And if you're in a fiction story like a fantasy world or the like, it would be interesting to see how that kind of currency is fabricated.
Well, that's plot reasons.
Yeah, exactly.
So maybe you have some very specific plot reasons. Uh, and maybe you, as the author, just want to know for backstory. Like you don't have to include currency exchange. Just today, doing the answering the prompt, I realized, oh, I have no discussion of money in my story at all. It's just the case, the case,
Mhm.
the many cases. Uh, Although we do talk about money later on, that's true. The motivation for the bad stuff is money. Yeah, anyone have any thoughts here?
I think it's a really good proxy for power. So if you're covering power dynamics,
Oh, that's a really great way of putting it. Who holds the power? Yep, great. This is great. Anything else? This is great because it's a good segue into what we're about to do
Yeah,
next.
this may be a plot reason, but I know that part of what makes stories interesting is giving the characters limitations.
Mm-hmm.
When power is limited, it creates challenges. And the same way if money's limited,
Mm-hmm.
that you got to figure out how they get money.
Mm-hmm. That's great. Yeah, that's fabulous. Also, money is a motivator, and it might be a motivator for your character. Money as motivator. Motivation. Money as motivation. Motive.
Especially if there's a lack of resources and there's no money to get those resources to, or, lack of money to get resources.
Yeah, which goes back to the character limitations.
Yeah.
Really.
It seems to me like money can really be woven into goal, motivation, and conflict.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Character.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I realize I kind of took it away from my main character as a motivation in this current book. Although, yeah, in my the first four books, I mean, paying for her mother's medication, that was her whole motivation for hustling in the job. I mean, that was like her practical goal. I got to keep my job so I can pay for my mom's medical. Yeah, very, very good. Great. Let's do a little writing. Uh, we're going to do some brainstorming. So this is for you and your story world to help you figure out your currency exchange, value exchange proposition. I'm going to put this in the chat, but I'll read them aloud. So brainstorm, who is in power? Who mints the currency? What has been easy historically or currently to make and exchange the currency? And by that, I mean, if you think about currency, it's got to be portable. It's got to be, easy somehow to manufacture. So it might just help you think about, oh, what is an easy way to incorporate to have a currency? Oh, what's on hand? What are the resources on hand? Why do they need currency? Maybe you're in a world that doesn't. Um, or it could be why they need currency or why they don't need uh, or slash use currency. You don't have to brainstorm all of these, just whatever feels relevant. And then on a practical level, how is currency carried and exchanged? So, Story, you touched on that a little bit in your piece. Great. So let's do 3 minutes. Just pick one of these brainstorm questions that really stand out for you, and then we have a second exercise. So I'm gonna mute us all, and see what we get done in 3 minutes. All right, that was 3 minutes. Let's see. Can we see my document? Okay, I can't see the document. I'm looking at my script. Oh, there we go. Let's do a second exercise, then we'll read whatever you guys care to share. And oh my goodness, the cat is going after a bug. I love that Ezra put something in there. Awesome, awesome. Let's keep going though.
Yeah.
In the interest of time. So before I go on, I was just curious if that was helpful for you so far. I learned some new things about my story world. Yeah, was that good? Is that helpful? Do I have some yeses going on? I see Dr.
Yeah, I got a nodding head.
Okay, great. Let's now I'm going to ask you to do a little bit more writing and to help you clarify um, the currency in your world. So maybe you've already done this, but what is the currency in your world? Number one. Is there anything else that's lacking for your story world that you would like to create in terms of currency? And I asked the question why. This can help you answer like, what is the story purpose of that? And then if you need to invent a currency, or like in your case, Nicole, maybe it's a rules of exchange, rules of barter, what would that be? And how does your currency reflect, or your rules of barter, if that's what you want, reflect the values or and history, environment, takes into account the history of your story world. So I think rules of barter would be included if you want to do barter. All right. So I hope those questions will spark you. Let's do another 3 minutes of writing, and then you can share whatever you'd like, or we can, ask any questions that you have. All right. Sounds good. Everyone good? Okay. I'm looking at Ezra's iPad because I can see you, Diana, and see if anyone else is on camera. Okay, great. I'll see y'all in 3 minutes. Okie dokie. Does anyone want to share their stuff? I see Hugh has put stuff in here. Ezra, you've got something? I I'm not gonna post anything. I was just brainstorming. Uh Ezra, you want to read yours?
Sure. Let's see. How do they use currency? This is modern, uh, you know,
Contemporary paranormal.
it's
Yeah.
not, oh,
Yes, it
yeah,
is.
it's paranormal, but the money isn't.
Mhm.
So perhaps he's in debt and keeps using his credit card. Um, and his thought process is, I feel like I'm on the edge of a cliff about to fall, and if I keep throwing money over the cliff, I'll keep from falling over.
Hmm.
Hugh wrote, from a historical perspective,
Mhm.
when the provinces that are now part of the kingdom became united under one monarch, a single currency was declared, consisting of gold, silver, and copper coins. This asserted the power of the monarchy, often under the guise of unity. People became beholden to one economy and lost some of their individual history and culture, especially since the coins had carved into them the insignia of the monarchy.
Mhm.
And so list what you've already created for your story world. Well, this is the first time Hugh says that he's thought about currency, but now he has something new. What else would you like to create and why? So money will become a problem for Tobias and his allies on the way. How did they get it? Or how did they get it? Will they resort to stealing or force if they become desperate? Do the ends justify the means? And how does it compromise Tobias' values?
Love that.
Um, and so yeah, so
Oh, and then inventing it, you wrote your
right, that's
history.
the historical
History.
part.
Yeah, great.
Diana
Great.
has,
Really, I just want to say, Hugh,
oh
really
yeah,
great job, great questions.
yeah.
Keep going. Yeah. Really
Yeah,
good.
I haven't thought about currency before in my story, and now it's you've unleashed me into a rabbit hole. Thank you.
Rabbit hole.
Oh, so the currency of Daiheim
Oh yeah. I thought it was always Danheim, but it um
is produced and controlled by the queen and her treasurer.
produce. Produce is the currency, right? Food.
Oh, the
Is that
currency is
No, I meant produced. I just
produced.
missed the D.
Yeah.
got it? Okay.
Um, they use it to maintain control over the realm and help keep the economy stable and the kingdom prosperous. This is also why the coins have the image of the fairy queen and other symbols of the kingdom and the queen. It used to be a lot easier for the kingdom to mine precious metals and produce coins before the Everwinter made everything cold and slowed trade down in the snow. But the slower trade and a smaller population also means they need less currency, so they haven't been affected too much by the reduced coin production. There are some pockets of the kingdom that have switched to bartering since they're so isolated and rely on trading just a few key items. But we won't see that in the story since Clara is in the palace and the treasury is also in the palace.
Hmm.
Nice.
Great. I love how you got have a sense of history there.
Yeah,
That's wonderful.
great. McDowell.
Okay.
What I've already created for my story world, a castle turned resort, rich with history and layered meaning. A wishing well linked to a hidden fairy realm. Magical rules. Iron burns, Rowan repels. Fairies must keep promises. A secret creek that produces raw gold only for those aligned with purpose and care. A protagonist, Tessa, inherited land and built a place of refuge. Characters who are seeking healing, hiding, or rediscovering themselves. A magical setting where time bends and emotional transformation is possible. A layered blend of realism, mystery, and gentle fantasy. The Greek gold already acts as value for purpose currency, appearing only when needed, not when wanted. But among the fairies, I imagine promises are the true currency. A promise made 3 times becomes binding. A broken promise costs more than gold. It costs favor. In this world, barter isn't with objects, but with intentions. The fairies grant gifts in return for honesty, selflessness, or acts of protection.
Wonderful. I love how detailed that is, and maybe that's really wonderful. So evocative.
Yeah.
And Nicole, maybe you can have some rules similar to that. Like what do people exchanging um, for a meal? Ooh, and Hugh has listed two good songs about money. Really fun. Really, really fun. Well, I want to keep going just so we can have some time to look at Ezra's material. So, just in summary, currency is a medium of exchange that reflects power structures, society values, and also the world building elements in your stories, including the history that you create in your story. Some examples we saw are digital credits and physical objects, from magical objects, ammunition, bottle caps. We also talked about barter and trade and the rules a little bit. I love, Diana, you gave us some rules for the barter in your story. Um, also, we want to use currency because it reflects the power, society dynamics, and makes our stories feel more real, and also can reflect technology and rules of magic and all that kind of thing. We'll touch on takeaways and ahas in a moment. I just want to point out I did use Perplexity for some of this, and I show the link in this document. Y'all have I have the world building workbook for fiction writers. If you don't have it already, you can grab that. And there's a few really good books. One that I wonder if Ezra can grab, the world building, Build Better Worlds, an introduction to anthropology for game designers, fiction writers, and filmmakers. And he has a section on economics in there, which I found really, really interesting. And so I summed it up a little bit in a podcast episode I did a while back. And there's tons of resources in here if you want them. So great. And here's the book full of, I think I've shown it here before, full of my post-it notes. World, and it's in the resource document. So awesome. Let's see. Dinah says, I've worked on fairy rules to keep the story consistent. Yes.
Good.
Rules of exchange, really great. I'm going to add that to the document. Rules of exchange, rules of barter, what in exchange for what. Great job, everyone. Let's jump into your thing, Ezra, and then we'll do ahas and takeaways and announcements. And if you want, I would just love to see like an emoji or a few words about like what was that exercise like for you, just to think about your world's currency and dive a little deeper. It was new for me, and yeah, brain, Hugh's brain. We made your brain work, huh, Hugh? That's
My
great.
brain hurts.
My brain. Yeah, that's great. Thank you for that. I needed some feedback. All right. Here we go. Here's Ezra's. All right. What kind of feedback do you want, Ez?
Um, see, anything, I guess.
Okay.
What's not clear?
That's not clear. Okay. Great. Did you want to read it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
the setting is that Alice is about to confront villain. She opened the door to the basement and walked down the creaking wooden stairs. That you, Daisy? Kane's voice sounded gruff, but distracted. Workshop tables were covered with wax paper, balls of dirt, nail polish, poppy seeds, and other piles. Kane stood at one of the tables, busying himself too much to see who she was. At the foot of the stairs, she put her hands on her hips and whistled. Nice setup you have here. Kane whizzed around, bent his knees, and pointed a cocked six-shooter at her. Who the hell are you? She raised her arms up. Easy, big boy. I'm just here to admire your handiwork. I have a weakness for talented artists such as yourself. He followed her eyes to the tables, lowered his gun, stood up straight, and scratched his back with his free hand. Yeah, good counterfeiting takes skill. I'm glad you can appreciate that. Oh, but I do. She approached the tables. You've got your balled up strawberry flavored dirt, your nail polish to give the dirt the right color, the crushed poppy seeds to mimic the strawberry seeds. Looks like you thought of everything. I like to think so, and I make these puppies look good too. I don't just roll the balls of dirt in the crushed poppy seeds. I actually make sure the seeds are evenly spaced on the skin, just like on a real strawberry. No doubt about it, she said. You've got a true eye for detail. He set the gun on the table and wiped his sweaty hand on the back of his neck. You have no idea how refreshing it is to be appreciated. So how do you deal with the greens problems? He scowled. You mean when people check to see if the strawberry is genuine by tugging off the greens and seeing if the inside is dirt or the white of the fruit? She nodded. You're a smart girl. Most counterfeiters don't even think of that test. He thumbed his chest proudly. But I do. See that bowl over there? She peered into a bowl of what looked like the white rings under a strawberry screens. Them's the insides of thistles. Dead ringers for the white insides of strawberries. She smiled. Very clever. I bet you could get away with anything. Yep, he winked at her. I'm that sneaky. I can get away with anything. She raised an eyebrow. Even murder?
Fun. Really, really fun. Great. So anything that's not clear, any edits for Ezra? This is a book that's
It's already published.
It's published. It's published, so why do you want feedback from us?
It was the only thing I had that's fiction these days. Yeah.
Okay. You really want
And
feedback?
well, I had something else, but it was like, and this was more appropriate.
Okay. Um, yeah,
Well, then it's great. Well done.
exactly what he wants to hear. Yeah. Yeah, I thought it was really fun. Felt like I was inside a mystery of some kind.
Cool.
Yeah, anybody else have feedback? We got something in the comments here.
Oh, Story was saying, such a great session, so much wisdom shared. I honestly never gave much thought to currency in my story before. It's one of those things that's so normal in our world, we forget how important it can be in the worlds we create. As for Ezra, find a new religion.
Oh yeah, a little inside
So we
joke,
talk
but
about making a new religion. Yeah.
yeah, great. Thanks, Story. Yeah, me too. I mean, in this particular, yeah, currency is something I hadn't put a lot of thought into for this book. Um, my only question for you, Ez, was what her goal was. We see
Yeah.
what she's doing, but we don't know why she's doing it. And yeah, what she's doing, what she wants and why she wants it. That was missing for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's mentioned earlier.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. Yeah, anybody else have feedback for Ezra on this?
Was Kane described earlier? Because certainly the room was so well described. It felt like, for me, not having read up to this, I don't know what Kane looks like within
Yeah.
that room.
No, good point. I think that was missing.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah. I don't remember, to be honest. I don't think it
Okay.
was meant to spread.
You kind of had a hint of conflict in here, because he has a gun. So I thought good on the conflict, even though I was curious
I see.
what the conflict is for her. But there's like danger, stakes. Stakes
Right.
is clear in this. Great. And this whole counterfeiting of strawberries, I think is so detailed, really fascinating. Because strawberries is the currency in
Yeah.
your story world. Yeah, and that's why you chose it. Yeah, great. Anything else from folks?
The word isn't setup, because it says nice setup you have here. I think setup is one combined word, not two separate.
Oh. Could be, yeah.
Oh,
I think so.
that up. You had it as two words and it should be one. Ah, here we go.
That's it.
I know.
Now,
Could be.
something.
Yeah.
I think this was a version that I sent to my proofreader before publishing.
Okay.
So he might have caught that.
Might have caught that. Like this too also needs to be fixed. Yeah. Great. Cool. Yeah. You good?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. really fun to hear to see that. I love Ezra's invention of making strawberries currency in that story. It's very clever, really fun. Great job. Great job, everyone. Yeah, so I'm curious to know what your takeaways or ahas were for, oh, look, there's a strawberry floating on the
That's so
screen.
cool.
Where do you find all these emojis and things, Hugh? This is
I'm so resourceful with useless talents.
I
yes,
love it.
very resourceful. All right, Diane.
Diana,
Yeah, go
yeah,
ahead.
says my takeaway. This discussion validates how important making rules are when building story worlds that are not necessarily mainstream stories, but in unexpected worlds.
Yes, yes.
Yeah,
Um,
that's
and
great.
that's great. So,
Eyes opened. Is-
eyes open. Yay. Anybody else want to share their takeaway or aha for today? And then also your next steps, if you want to post in the chat what your next step is in the next 2 weeks. I think our next group is in 1, 2, 3, because there's 5 Thursdays in July. So our next group is in 3 weeks on August 7th. A little bit of a gap there. Let's see. I have sex and violence in my story. I never thought about including greed. What? The trifecta? Greed. There you go. There you go. Stop pollinating so many flowers. Oh, that's your takeaway. That's right. Yeah, that's right, Diana. Yes, 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 yes.
Sometimes that creative brain just makes you go where you're not ready to go, but you gotta go.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, putting some boundaries, or in your case, a net. Maybe put a net or some kind of arboretum or some enclosed.
but I don't want to lose it. I don't want to lose it. So I gotta do something with it.
Uh, yeah, Nicole, are you going to develop some rules for the barter for your story?
You said, am I doing what?
Are you going to develop some rules, the rules that govern how people exchange things in your story, exchange for meals, exchange for other things?
Yeah, I'm thinking to develop because that's one thing I don't have written down is, like you said, what are the criteria? What's
Mhm.
what can be exchanged and what can't, and that whole thing. And then somehow I had to include like prostitution in there because that can still qualify as trade.
Yes, that has been part of trade for
Right.
millennia. Exactly.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah. So write down those rules for your story for sure. Good. Other next steps people need to do. Are you going to focus back on some fiction, Ezra?
Um, I was thinking of going back to the marketing and making the
Yeah.
blog posts,
Awesome.
but there is like this Callisto story.
Okay.
You
Yeah.
know, that's with the drag queen. Is that drag queen? Yeah.
Right. Your script, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Great. And I'm editing. Let's see. This Hugh says, I need to add a section to my world building now and see how money becomes a bigger deal than the mundane day to day. Yeah.
Hmm.
If you can have it be at stake somehow, right? Like it raises the stakes for your character. Really interesting. Yeah, Nicole, go ahead.
I was just going to say that as far as adding money, it's just interesting that like I was saying, that a lot of worlds only include coinage, and they don't include another form of currency. It's like
Besides coins? Yeah. I
yeah,
mean, what other? I just was watching a little fantasy TV show today because I got to talk to the showrunner, and people are trading literally like, here's a fish, and in exchange for a fish, I want some potatoes. Here's some potatoes. In exchange for this, I want, a piece of clothing. So that was actually
oh
inside the story that I was watching. Um,
wow,
yeah, at the marketplace. So I've seen that plenty. I mean, Jack and the Beanstalk is all about bringing, right? Doesn't he get beans
Beans for the
for the
cow.
cow? Yeah, lots and lots of
I
stories.
Even my
remember,
grandmother who was in the Depression, they did that.
Yeah.
We we've got real butter and you guys don't, or you have milk, but let's trade because now I have too much butter and you can't drink all your milk. So even in our real world, we have done that.
Totally. And
and
yeah.
I read Jack and the Beanstalk. Of course, it was years ago, but I don't. I do remember him trading for beans, but of course, me being a kid, I did not make the connection that that was a form of currency. How would I?
Yeah. Well,
I just
yeah. 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 I mean, another example is favors. People
yeah.
took care of our cats, and then we take care of their cats. And then we give little thank you gifts as part of the exchange. There's no money. There's just exchanging help.
Right.
Uh,
So would e-gift cards count as a form of currency, even though you're purchasing the e-gift cards? But
yeah, most people use those as thank yous. Like if someone sends me a client, I will send them a coffee card. And it's
oh,
not, or in some cases, some people will send me money if I sent them a client, right? Like, I mean,
and
that's a money exchange, but then sometimes it's just, oh no, just sure, I'll take a coffee card, you know.
yeah,
Uh, Thanks for, just pass my name along to somebody else.
right.
There's
And
all,
we used your coffee card, by the way. We were on a road trip, and Mom had some coffee cards, and then you had sent me yours, or mine, and so we just combined them and used them.
yeah, there you go.
So yeah, but
Yep.
yeah, that's what I got to say.
Yeah, excellent. Excellent. I like what you're doing, what you're thinking. I want to share some announcements. I know no one here is really showing up for the sprint. Can I have an arm? Thank you. But if in case you're interested, the next sprint is Sunday, July 27th. They're on the second and fourth Sundays at 10 a.m. Pacific, what is that, 1 p.m. Eastern. Also, anyone working on children's books, there's a children's book summit that starts July 28th that my friend Karen in South Africa is running, and that's free. Whoa, okay, rocking. And then I'm going to be teaching settings that hook readers, and a hands-on workshop through my friend Sue Brown Moore's community, and that is August 2nd. You do need to pay for that since that's sort of her community. And then there's going to be a 4-week class in October. You'll hear more about romancing the subplot if you want to dig deep into writing a romantic subplot. Gala Russ will be teaching that I will be supporting. And then we're also doing I think I'm going to call it Start Your Writers Serving Writers Business. That's what I'm going to call it, training. The training on how to start your writers serving writers business, and that starts September 16th. And I'll be selling that soon, as soon as I write the sales page.
Wow.
That's a lot of stuff. And I just want to let you folks know that I do offer VIP writing days, like Ezra and I have done for Hugh a few times. And if you're curious about that, that's like a day intensive, 4 hours or 6 hours where we get together and you get feedback, you get coaching, we do editing. Ezra is part of the team, and you get it's like an intensive. So I have that's on offer. That is something that I sell. And also, if you know any writer who you think it would be a good fit for, let them know about the intensive as well. I'll have material on that as soon as I write a darn sales page. And Hugh says VIP day is totally worth it. OMG. Thank you so much, Hugh. It's so much fun.
I'm scared to ask how much that costs.
Lots of money, lots of
Oh,
pickles.
okay, that means I can't afford it. Sorry.
Well, maybe we can talk about it, Nicole, see what we can create.
273 cuppers.
Cuppers, 937 pickles and peanut butter. Pickles and
Oh my God.
we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. So I think that's it. We're a few minutes over. We're about to jump off and have dinner.
Yeah,
And
pizza.
pizza. We do have pizza tonight.
Pizza.
I am some pizza. Any last takeaways or hops
Well,
folks want to share?
you said I need to add a section to my world building now and see how money becomes a bigger deal than the mundane day to day.
Fabulous. I guess the key question is, what's at stake, right? How can money be a part of the stakes,
Yeah.
making things more difficult? Like earlier, Hugh and Diana, you were both talking about limitations. How can it be a limitation in some way? Or I'm using it.
Uh,
Well, I'm just brainstorming today about how money is not used on the space station my character is on, and my heroine is like doesn't understand. She it's like a whole other concept, and but I don't know if I'm going to include it in the story honestly because it just is kind of there's no stakes. There's no stakes there. Later on we talk about money in the book, but so what is at stake? Great. Did everyone share kind of what their next steps are and what they got from today? Ooh, I saw a
I
thumbs
guess
up from someone.
I guess my next step is to I don't really know. I guess it's to figure out the rules like you said.
Yeah. Yep.
For
Figure
both.
out the rules. Absolutely. Absolutely. Figure out the rules.
Yep.
Good. Good. Excellent. All right, everyone. Thank you so much. It looks like Story already hopped off. Yeah, because he wrote his final thoughts there. Great to see everyone. We'll see you all in 3 weeks, August 7th. The two meetings of
Yep.
August will be the first and third Thursday, August 7th and 21st. Fabulous. Okay. Well, take care, everyone. Have a really good night, and we'll see you all soon.
All
Pizza.
right. Later.
Later. Bye. Great to see you all. Ciao.